Hey, what's up, man? It's Gene. Haven't done a live stream in a while. As you see, my beard's gone. I grow beards from time to time. I grew this beard out over my road trip, and my friend told me, he says, you shave your beard off. I'm thinking about it for a couple weeks, especially because at the gym. Maybe it's just psychological, but when I'm all covered up in hair, I feel like I don't express my heat very well. And so I was like, yeah, I got to shave this beard off. And I've debated it for a couple weeks, and then I think it was it's sometime in the last day or two. Was it yesterday or the day before or Friday night? I don't remember. It was Saturday. Anyways, I shaved my beard off. And I just use clippers. I haven't used a clean shave and like a razor in forever. But I got my clippers, so it's a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. But yeah, so now my face is back. But here are a couple things. I'm gonna tell you a few things tonight you might want to know about. Anyways, if you want to come on the show live, all you got to do is put this StreamYard.com, blah, 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 in your browser, boom, like on your laptop, your phone, whatever, boom, and it'll bring you up and you'll come on the show. I'll see you come up on here and I'll hit the little button and there you go. But I want to talk to you tonight about why you didn't see any live streams last week. I had a podcast done. I haven't put it up on the website yet, on the Patreon site. I took a nice long walk this evening between where I'm at right now in the gym so I could clean my head out and really, basically I had a lot to think about the last week. Y'all know about Mitch. Mitch is my best friend from college, really good guy. And he's been helping me out with this project, and Mitch bailed. Now, before you think, ooh, Gene's trash talking Mitch. No, I'm not. I would never do that. In fact, my biggest concern when he left working with me on this was not the show flubbing up. That really wasn't it. It was losing my best friend. That's been the big issue with me this week. Show's totally secondary. I could care less. But here's the deal. When Mitch came on board with this, I think he had a slightly different vision of it than I did. And it was good vision, and it had good reasons. I am more than thankful for him, and I wish he was still involved. But he didn't do this. This is in my own head. This is my own, head issue going on. But I was feeling, and I never could explain it to him, but it was like he wanted to get a ton of subscribers for the Patreon site. And that's really good. But I felt like, and we didn't communicate well because I felt like, and this is me, not him. I felt like it was just becoming a commodity, just a product, I'd write a poem, put it up on the site. It wasn't a poem. It was a product. It was a widget. It was a ball bearing, right? This commercial America. So he's talking with, marketing experts and stuff about how to get this, ton of money coming in with podcasts and all this. And that's cool. And I really appreciate that. And I wish I would have been able to somehow communicate better how I was feeling. And I wish I would have been more receptive to hear him. I mean, like I say, friendship is way more important in this show. But he has bailed out. Now, he told me he was going to continue putting together the Elvis Burger 2020 road trip documentary. I think where he was looking at a total of, 24 episodes of it. It's a serial, right, documentary. I forget exactly what number we're at now. I want to say somewhere around 18 or something. I don't think I've seen one this week yet. I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't have the software. I don't have the technology to make those episodes. Like it's in limbo. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm doing this off a Chromebook, people. I mean, I don't have whatever major editing, I don't know. I don't have it. But so I don't know what's going to happen with the Elvis Burger documentary. I really don't. I'm not going to sweat it though. And here's the bottom line. I went on a hell of a road trip. Maybe you'll get to see the entirety of it. Maybe you won't. I don't know. I have no idea. But what I do know is with the Patreon site, here's the deal. Mitch and I had this discussion, this kind of falling out, this agreement to disagree, whatever. About a week ago, give or take a day, about a week ago. And that might have been a week. And what I did this past week was, go on with what I was doing, but I took time intentionally, you might say, away from it. I did schedule. I had one podcast I did, but I haven't put it up yet. And I had another podcast scheduled for this weekend, but I've been, I don't know, it's really under the weather. I don't know if sick describes it well. Run down. I had some hard times at the gym. This weekend, I'm kind of tired. My stomach's been bothering me. I busted a drum head on one of my djembes Friday night at a gig. And that really sucks because, like, this ain't like a guitar. It's like you go down to your local guitar shop and they fix it. It's a djembe, dude. Like, it takes a specialist. So I know 4 people. I personally know 4 people that could. I got 3 drums. I got Preacher Man. I got Preacher Man. I got La La, and I got Stormbringer. Yeah, I named my drums. Well, La La has a good head on her, but it needs to be tightened. Okay. Preacher Man, I was playing really hard the other night, and my drum fell over. I had this happen once or twice. Unfortunately, I was on concrete. It was outdoors. And first thing I thought when I watched it fall, I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna crack the shell. And that's like blowing an engine on a car. You crack the drum shell, forget it. That shell is good for firewood after that. It didn't crack, not at all. But it did bust the head, bust the skin, right? And it's not fixable. So it's got to be replaced. My last one is Stormbringer. Stormbringer is my main drum, and Stormbringer is, named very appropriately. So I got 3 drums. I only got 1 working now. I can do more on 1 drum than a lot of people can do on 3. So I don't mean to sound arrogant, but it's not the end of the world. But my world is not complete. It's my drums are like people to me. They have names. So it's sort of like if you got a friend that goes in the hospital, say for an elective surgery. I mean, it's not like, they might die. I mean, it's like, but they're going in, they're sick. They got something, got to have their appendix taken out or whatever it is. They're going to be okay in the long run, but you really want to see them healthy and out of the hospital. So it's sort of like Preacher Man and La La. La La is outpatient surgery, you might say. Preacher Man has to be in the hospital for a few days. That might be a way to put it. But you want to see him out of the hospital and healthy. So that just kind of started out my weekend great. But that's all a side note. Anyways, what I wanted to say is I canceled the podcast I had set for Saturday. And I'll probably do it later on, maybe this coming weekend. But here's the deal. I took a week away. I didn't write anything. I haven't put up that podcast that I did do. And I thought. And then when I thought through what I wanted to do, I thought through some more. Made sure my thinking was okay. By the way, if you want to post any comments, if you don't want to come on the show, you can, like on my Facebook page or on YouTube, if you go to the Rucksack Revolution, channel, whatever, on YouTube, you can type in comments. They'll come right up live. I'll put them on the show. We'll chat. But what I want to say is this. The way we configured the Patreon site, which is Rucksack Rev on Patreon, one word, Rucksack Rev, was a 3-tiered system. So for $3 a month, you got the documentary, the road trip documentary, which is really good stuff. $6 a month, you got a couple podcasts a week and the road trip documentary. $9 a month, you get the blog, you get the whole shebang. Well, that's I like the number 3 a lot. So $3, $6, $9, each tier is $3 more. It made sense to me. I mean, I was chatting with Mitch on the phone. It was during the road trip. It's probably about 10 o'clock at night. I've been driving hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Probably jacked up on about 2 liters of Mountain Dew, 2 or 3 Monsters, and a couple of Cliff Bars, maybe a little fast food. Just driving down the highway at night, talking on the phone, not in my hand. Do not get one of those brackets for your dashboard, please. But just chatting. So I'm kind of amped up and everything. And I just loved it. It's just like it just put the whole universe in order. It was like so Aristotelian. You know what I mean? But here was my big problem with it. And this is something I kept bringing up the last couple months. How do you sell a product? I just used the word product. I should have done that. But how do you sell something that you can get 70,000 other places for free? That's the big $64,000 question, right? I bring this up with Mitch and come on, you don't got to pay to hear Joe Rogan. You don't got to pay to hear Rich Roll. You don't got to pay to hear whoever. I was never happy with that. And I was never happy with, I guess I started feeling like a commodity. And like I wasn't making my sales calls enough. I wasn't doing this enough. I wasn't doing that enough. I was told I wasn't writing to my audience well. And the 1,000 deadly pricks, the one single drop of water torture on your nose while it felt like that. So I haven't done it yet. I want to do it today. I'll probably do it tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm gonna figure it out this week. I'm doing away with that whole tier system. Done. What I'm gonna do is it's pretty simple. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon site, you get everything as it comes out for $3 a month. Bro, that's a dime a day, okay? I know for a fact, because Friday night I went to happy hour at a local drinking establishment downtown before playing live out at the downtown square with a friend of mine for 3 hours. And I went and I had 3 IPAs. It's called a gentleman's pint. 3 IPAs in about 90 minutes. Okay? Actually, it's supposed to be 3 pints of Guinness, but I like IPAs. I invented this, a gentleman's pint. There's a whole story behind that. But it was kind of cover up for a friend of mine so that we went out and had a few beers. His girlfriend wouldn't get pissed. So she'd known me a long time. I said, just tell her we're having a gentleman's pint. He goes, what's that? And I said, don't worry about it. Just tell her we're having a gentleman's pint. She said, well, that's very nice, It's actually 3 pints of beer in 90 minutes. It's a gentleman's pint. If you drink 3 pints of beer, especially if you drink an IPA, if you drink 3 IPAs or whatever in about 90 minutes and you pace them out, you will have probably a nice, pleasant little buzz, but you won't be smashed, right? It's just a gentleman's pint. It sounds really good. So anyways, I had a gentleman's pint before going out to play. No, that did not cause my drum to tip over. But it wasn't like I was that buzzed. But I just was hitting it hard and it got unstable. But anyways, I know for a fact that the happy hour price for a pint of Swamphead Brewery Big Nose IPA, which is my favorite IPA in the world, I highly recommend it. 7.5 ABV, fucking awesome. It's like $3.50, I think, at happy hour. Because what I'm saying is, there you go, Brandon. Hey, if nothing else happens with this live stream tonight, we have done something. Brandon Abels says, gentleman's pint and capitalized. Proper, brother. I'm using that. Yes. If there's 2 things, if there's 3 things, I'd like to share a little wisdom about drinking with y'all right now. 1, don't drink too much. When I was a line cook and when I was younger, I drank too much. I don't drink as much now. I really don't. I usually have more than 3 beers, that often. And I don't do that even every day or something. I might have a beer every couple of weeks, but don't overdrink and don't drink and drive. Okay, please. I did that. I'm a saint, people. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm drinking fucked up sometimes in my life. And I look back, and one of the ways I think I hurt my dad really, really bad in my life, I had not thought about this, was my dad had an older brother, and he was killed by a motorist. He was a truck driver. He was killed by a motorist when I was like 4 years old, maybe 5 years old, something like that. And I remember it. I didn't go to the funeral. My dad went. What I did not know or hadn't registered at the time, it was an icy road. It was in Wisconsin. He was driving a full load of steel and kind of icy roads, snowy conditions. This woman ran a stop sign. I guess he was coming off the interstate or something, and he had the right of way, though. Anyways, he had the right of way. She didn't. She ran the stop sign in her car. He swerved to avoid her, lost control of the rig. It's an 18-wheeler, lost control, jackknifed it. Anyways, he was DOA. I mean, he died. And the woman was trashed. I mean, I don't know what her alcohol level was, but she was trashed. She was driving drunk, ran the stop sign. He died because he didn't want to run her over with an 18-wheeler full of steel beams, right? So he gave up his life for her. Well, when I was older, my dad, we were talking about that. And I said, I didn't realize your oldest brother, Dick, he was killed by a drunk driver. And he goes, yeah, and you drive trash sometimes. Like, do you understand how I feel about that? And I did apologize to him before he died. But I'm just saying, don't drive drunk and don't drink too much, right? But besides that, that's why you should do a gentleman's pint. 3 pints in 90 minutes. And that doesn't mean then you go to the next bar and drink 3 pints in 90 minutes. Don't do that. But the two things I'd like to share, my wisdom, other than don't drive drunk and don't drink too much, is that the gentleman's pint or gentle lady's pint or whatever it would be is some good wisdom, especially with friends. And the second thing is you can always open a beer bottle with a cigarette lighter. And if I had a beer bottle handy, I would demonstrate, but I don't have one handy. What I do have, like I said, my stomach's been kind of bothering me this weekend, is some Gatorade. I'm kind of on a liquid diet today. I had some fried rice at lunch, but my roommate made this really heavy, like, vegetable soup. I don't know if it's really vegetable. It's got giant chunks of beef in it, so I guess it's beef vegetable. And it's really good. But I just, right now, man, the whole thought of like eating like red meat, just. Ugh. So I got a protein shake tonight. I got a couple bottles of Gatorade. I think I'll be back around. I'm already feeling better. I just don't want to load I didn't eat a whole lot of heavy food this weekend, and I don't want to load up on it now. And so I'm just kind of. You cannot open. Well, you could open one of these with a cigarette lighter. I guess you could light it and burn a hole in the plastic. But that's not what I'm talking about. But anyways, so here's the deal. Again, you can put this in your browser and come on the show. The Patreon site, Rucksack Rev, one word, is going to be $3 a month. None of this $3, that's too complicated, man. That's too much. $3, $3 a month, a dime a day, right? You cannot get a pint. You cannot buy a pint of Big Nose of Swamphead Brewery's Big Nose IPA at a happy hour price for that much. I mean, it'd be $3.50. Plus, you'd have to pay a tip. It's around $3, man. Come on, man. $3. You probably got it in your sofa. So that's basically it. And I haven't changed the tier system on there yet. I can figure out how to do it. Mitch set all that up, but I'm sure I can do it. But look for that. Like, I might even get it done tonight. Probably be tomorrow, though. Tonight, I think I'm just going to chill. But it'll be tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. I'm having this all set up and changed. And so here's what I'm going to do. When we had the 3-tier system, it worked out that I had to give you 2 podcasts a week. And here was the problem. I did not know this would be a problem. I really didn't. But I found out it's a problem. Booking podcast guests became the bane of my existence. In fact, I got friends. I got a lot of interesting friends and associates. That's why we do the podcast. And some of them have been really more than helpful. And I'll be honest, some of them I've seen a side of them I just didn't know they had. Over planning, all these things, you know. It's like, dude, come on, man. All you got to do is just show up, man. It's like we're having a phone conversation or, video chat. I mean, this isn't complicated. This isn't complicated shit going on here, right? We're not launching a rocket to Mars. And so it's this constant hassle to get all this done. And it was a pain in the ass, man. I spent my whole week, man, I would fret about, oh my God, have I got my podcast guests? Have I got my podcast guest? You know, it's, yeah. And a friend of mine, she would get a hold of me and she'd say, are you having fun? I'd say, no, I'm not having fun. Not really. And so it's like having to meet a sales quota. Oh, and then I'd hear about, I'm supposed to be just harping on everybody to join Patreon. I'm just not going to do it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be the capitalist. I'm not going to market a product. I refuse to be a commodity. It's that simple. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm making no guarantees. What I will say is this, though. Between live streams, which I guess I can put these up on the Patreon site, too, which they aren't going to be 2 hours anymore. That's stupid. I don't need all that. 60 minutes. Just a 60-minute live stream. That's all. But I'm taking out the quotas, man. It was like, oh, I'm going to give you 3 blog posts a week. I'm going to give you 2 these a week. Forget that, man. Here's the deal. $3 a month. I said, pretty much every day I'll have something up there. It's either going to be a live stream, a podcast. One week I might have 4 podcasts. Who knows? I feel much more relaxed. Not having to do a certain number relaxes me much more. It's like if someone's kind of, not that they intend to, but if they're giving me a hassle about trying to get scheduled and everything, we all have our issues, right? I can't do Wednesday night. Okay, fine. I understand. Let's do Friday. But some of it's been like, just hassles. Just hassles. It's like, dude, relax. It's an hour video chat. We're not running for president here, right? I don't have to sweat any of that anymore. So that relaxes me more, so that if, say, in 1 week I don't have a podcast, or I have 1 or 2, that's cool. If I have 1 week I have 6, man, that'd be freaking awesome. I'll be posting things on my blog. Ideally, right now it seems I'm producing a book of poetry, but ideally I'm going to be writing a book about my road trip, and you'll get to see a lot of it on the blog. But here's what was going on. I was publishing some preliminary poetry about my road trip, basically, that I was going to use for, basically in the book, I want to do like there and back. So there's going to be kind of probably ideally 3 sections to the book. It's like you ever heard of The Hobbit, right? The Hero's Quest, right? Departure, what I call antipode, which is when you're at the point farthest away from home, and then return, the heroic quest, with the hero's journey. And I wrote 3 poems. Actually, I've written a couple other ones since too, but I wrote 3 poems that, if you can imagine, like section 1 of the book, say it was 30 chapters, easy math. So the first section, say, was 10 chapters. The second section is 10. Third section is 10. On the opening page of each of those sections would be one of these poems. The first one is, I think, Departure. The second one is Antipode. The third one, I think, is called On the Return, Upon the Return. I got to look it up. But anyways, I was being told, well, no, this is what your audience wants to hear. They want to hear this. They want to hear that. They want to hear about the road trip. No. I had a blog 10 years ago, Rucksack Revolution. I was getting 15,000 hits a month on it. And I was writing about what the hell I wanted to write. I didn't look for my audience. My audience found me. And that's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep this very, very simple. So like I say, I'm going to tinker with the tiers. I'm going to get this all fixed up in the next couple days. And that's going to be $3 a month. That's it. None of this $3.69 bullshit. It's just going to be, look, we have $3 a month, $10 a day. Look this up. It's going to be 1 week there might be 1 podcast or 2 podcasts. 1 week there might be 5. Who knows? But pretty much regularly, I'm going to be putting stuff up. But when I had my old blog, I posted 7 days a week. 6, something like that. 5. I never less than 5. Never less than 5. Wrote what I wanted, did what I wanted. Sometimes it might be a meditative photograph. Sometimes it might be, 500 words. Who knows? But so I'm going to be posting stuff almost every day, if not every day. I'd say at least 5, 6 a week, but probably more like 7. And so there'll be podcasts, there'll be blog posts, there'll be spoken word. Well, it's not really spoken unless I do it on video. But the point I'm making is, rather than some super structured existence for this, there'll be this much of this, like a recipe. There's this much of this and this much of that, and then if you get this much, you pay this. No. Patreon.com, Rucksack Rev, $3 a month. That's it. $3 a month. And if you pay $3 a month, you can afford to have a gentleman's pint once a week, right? Gentleman's pint. Well, if it was Guinness, your average Guinness place now is probably at least $4.50 a pint. What, $5? I don't know. You'd be spending $15. You spend $20 on a gentleman's pint if you get good beer, and it's not happy hour, right? I mean, if you get an IPA, 3 pints and a tip, you're probably looking at $20. Say every Friday for happy hour, that's $80 right there. I'm talking about $3 a month. Okay. And every day, I tell you, man, I've got some very interesting friends and podcast guests, and that's all we want to say about that. Just so you know, though, that's what I'm going to do. I took a week. I lost a couple subscribers. Hey, it is what it is. Both of the people, actually wasn't about me not posting. It was finances. But I'll call it the ramen budget, right? $3 a month. That's it, dude. Come on, man. That's nothing. I got $3 in my change tray in my car, right? And you just be a wide variety of stuff, and there's no hassles on me, no pressures on you. Life's good. It'll get better. I want to have fun with this. I refuse to be a commodity. I refuse to be a product. Okay. Probably this is going to be a big failure, but Mitch's way is the right way. Mitch didn't do anything wrong. In fact, if I was in his position, I probably would have left too, because I wasn't putting out product regularly. I wasn't putting out the kind of stuff the market wants. I was not playing well with others. So, I mean, honestly, and I would have probably done the same thing he did. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. He's got other projects. I would like to see the documentary finished because I can't do that. I just don't even have. I don't have the software. I don't have the programs. I don't have the MacBook. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. I can't fix that. But I have my own memories of the trip, and I have tons of photos and just all kinds of things. So believe me, things will go on. But hopefully that documentary will get finished in a timely manner. But it is what it is. So my apologies. It's not Mitch's fault this happened. It's my fault. I own it. This is why I'm not a millionaire, because I just don't believe in modern marketing techniques. I think they can all go screw themselves. Okay, that's the problem in this country. We're not a community. We're just an economic system. We're just a giant fucking assembly line for widgets, right? I mean, think about it. Do you think, and I'm not saying we should go back to, outhouses and using palm fronds for ass wipe, but let's just say, like, if you go to the Amazon and you go to a indigenous tribal community, right? Say way upriver on the Amazon, or you were out in New Guinea, or you're out in like the Kalahari in South Africa, or some place where there's still like basically like tribal societies, going on. I'm not saying we have to go back to living in huts or using leaves to wipe our asses, but have you ever thought about? Just think about how insane our country really is. I don't even mean with Donald Trump in total denial. I don't even mean the fact I saw this woman today. I was in Publix getting the Gatorade and little protein shake. Was it Bolt Orchard or wherever the angry? I don't know what they are. They're like Odwalas. I don't know. I got one. But anyways, besides Donald Trump, but I saw this woman with a Donald Trump 2020 mask on, and I wanted to walk up to her and go like, "Do you understand that you double time voted for a wannabe dictator who's in complete denial and is subverting the entire democratic process that we hold most sacred? Like, how the hell can you wear that face mask? Like, why don't you just put a swastika on it? Or El Duce, Mussolini 2020, right? I don't even get that. But here's the thing. Say you go to a more tribal society, right? Or an intentional community or anything like that. Do you think that a tribal society, do you think, for example, let's just look at the Native American culture of the High Plains, right? I think Dances with Wolves, okay? To get a little, it's a movie, but do you think that the Lakota Sioux or other, Native American tribes in the United States, when they measured I'll use the word wellness, the healthiness of their community, right? Of their village or their tribe or whatever, by how much money they made? Think about it. What is the number one thing we use in the United States to measure, like, if our country's good or not, right? It's economics. Gross national product. The combined total of goods and I'm not an economics major, but isn't it gross national product? The combined total of goods and services produced for profit in the United States. How much money we make. How useful we are. Do you not think that in a society that actually is a community, do you think there might be something more than just what you're worth matters? I would think that. That's just me, right? That's why my favorite country in the world is Bhutan. Never been there. I hope to go there one day. If you don't know where Bhutan is, look it up. Bhutan. It's east. It's east of Nepal, tucked up between this little corner of India, the eastern tip of Nepal, and then the northern part on the Himalayas borders with China. It's this little country about the size of Switzerland, I guess. But Bhutan is a really interesting place. They don't want McDonald's. They don't want Starbucks. They're not trying to be, quote, primitive. I don't like that word, but they actually think that, yes, you can have a good society and not have a McDonald's, right? They joined the UN in the United Nations in 1974, started opening up their borders. They do allow for tourism. Interestingly, they're the only country in the world where tobacco is illegal. cigarettes are illegal in Bhutan. Why? I'll tell you in a second. And this is why I love this country, for one of many reasons. They did open up to tourism, but what they want, they don't, it's not like they're trying to be this closeted little kingdom and like screw the world like North Korea or something. It's not like that. They're kind of like the anti-North Korea. Like they're sort of reclusive in a way, but not so they can build bigger bombs and threaten people. Actually, it's because they're cool. They don't use gross national product. They do a thing called gross national happiness. And I don't remember. I need to go look this up because I will look it up tonight, actually, as soon as this podcast is over, because I want to remember them all. But it's 5 or 6 or maybe it's 7 subgroupings of gross national happiness, right? Kind of like, when you get your report card, you got English, math, PE, science, social studies, So basically the idea is they see their country as a community. They are a monarchy. They got a cool king though, right? They got for his birthday, they planted like 1 million trees or something. I mean, a third of the country is national preserve. It's amazing. But some of their indicators they use are like health and wellness. How, and look, I don't know. I mean, you might go over there and say, look, man, dude, I stayed at this place's house out in the country and I had this shit in the woods. Okay. If that's how you rate society for success, I don't know. I've had some very good shits in the woods backpacking. So, and I've took some pretty bad shits in some convenience stores in my life. So, it's a weird world, but, yeah, health and wellness is one, what's the healthcare for the country like? I mean, and not just, I'm the king. It's good to be king. I get great health care, right? No. How about the guy who's growing, I don't know, whatever they grow over there, potatoes, and he's got 2 yaks on a plow, right, out in the back country. How is his health care? Another one is education. The public education system. Are people literate? Can they read? Do they, can they function? Are they functionally literate? That's a good word for it, right? Another big one is the environmental quality of the country. Like I say, the king had his birthday and he's like, hey, you guys want to get me a really cool birthday present? Let's go out and plant trees. Could you imagine Donald Trump for whenever his birthday is? And he's giving a speech and he said, well, my birthday's coming up in a month. And you know what I would really love to see every American do in honor of my birthday? Let's go out and plant trees. And by the way, of course, I mean, he used money, they got the seedlings, they got the seeds, whatever. But could you imagine Donald Trump saying that? Everybody will go out like on Saturday, everybody go out and plant a few trees. And so when they went out and did it, like these villages went out and it was like it wasn't like a job. It was like a community thing. You know what I mean? A get together, right? Like you go out on the 4th of July and have a barbecue, except they went out and planted some trees while they did it, right? That's pretty cool. So they worry about the environment. They worry about education. They worry about health and wellness. Infrastructure, I guess, is one. Things. I'm going to look it up. In fact, I'm going to do a thing on my blog about it on the Patreon site. But see, in the United States, it's all about the God Almighty dollar. And I'm going to go on a hunch. I'm probably going to be wrong, but you can show me I'm right. I'm going to get this tier system changed on this Patreon site. Like I say, maybe tonight, tomorrow for sure, or something like that. By the time you see me live stream next time in a few days, it'll be done. And I'm willing to bet. Because look, here's the bottom line, man. What I'm looking for, I'm not trying to get rich. That ain't it at all. But you know what? I wouldn't mind getting a MacBook so I can prove this show. I wouldn't mind getting some better equipment. I wouldn't mind having some income where I can afford to maybe take some more road trips. They may not be on the scale of the Elvis Burger trip. I don't know. 2 months, that's a long time. But I want to bring you these adventures. I want to bring you these experiences. $3. I'm willing to bet that if I simply put stuff out here and not worry about how many podcasts a week or what kind of material does John Q. Public want to read or just whatever, $3 a month. I mean, you can subscribe or not. If I get enough subscribers, it's going to work. If I don't, it's not, right? But I would rather do that They have some complicated tier system with guaranteed production. I have to meet production deadlines, right? And frankly, I have a big imposter syndrome. Mitch and I discussed that. I don't think I'm worth more than $3 a month, to be honest. I mean, I went over and I looked at a lot of these Patreon sites, man. People be charging like $50 a month, $20 a month, $250 a month. No. And I'm egalitarian. So someone told me, they said, what you should do is have like a low cost, like say for the starving college student. And then you need a higher one that's like, say, $250 a month. $250 a month. And that's like your rich guy or a person that really wants to see. No. I'm going to be socialist. Everybody, $3 a month, man. You can be a billionaire. Bill Gates gets the same stuff you do. If you're eating ramen every night for dinner, hunched over your keyboard in grad school and seminary like I was, $3 a month. Bill Gates, if you're listening, which you're probably not, but if you are, you could have billions of dollars in the bank, $3 a month. But it's just me. I don't do well with the American way. This gross national product, and what have you done for me lately? And tears, and screw that, man. It's $3 a month, man. You know what? If you think $3 a month is too much, tell me where you live, man. And when I'm on one of my road trips, I'll come buy you a beer. I will, man. I'll take you out to your favorite bar. Or we can just sit at your house, man, and go to the store. But I will buy you a pint of IPA. Right? But anyways, so that's one thing I want to say about that is just that I'm doing away with that entire thing. Rucksack Rev exists, but it's going to be $3 a month. None of this $369 bullshit. None of this. Oh, but if you go to this level, then there's this, and it's guaranteed. And no, I said about the cough. I've been kind of congested. It's not COVID. I've just been kind of congested this weekend. Today, man, the gym was rough, dude. I mean, Orange Theory is never an easy workout. Some days are easier than other days. Let's say less difficult, right? It's all what you put into it. But if you're going in with a good attitude to work hard, some workouts, like I think it was Friday was the last one. Yeah, Friday. Friday was a mofo. Friday was a rough workout. Saturday, Sunday, I didn't go. So today's Monday. Today was not so bad. But just because of how I'm kind of feeling, like we got done, man. I said to the trainer, I said, I forgot the word I used. I said, that was the toughest. I said, that was the toughest easy workout of my life. I just, no, it's not a dry cough. Don't worry. And I can taste my food. But, yeah, just kind of congested. And I'll get over it. But I'm already feeling better anyways. I was feeling worse yesterday. But, yeah, $3 a month. What the hell, But other than that, come on the show, man. Broadcast. This is going to be an hour now. We talk about 2 hours a night, 3 times a week. Nah, screw that. I'm just going to do like an hour, 7 to 8 p.m., something like that. I don't even know what days it'll be, probably be a couple a week. I don't know, 2, maybe 3. And like I say, I'm going to work on scheduling some podcasts this week. But rather than make this, there's going to be this many of this. It's not a recipe. I didn't have a recipe for success on my blog. I just wrote shit, right? And now I have video capabilities. So that's all I'm going to do. So I'll write stuff, or I might even have, something I saw a friend. I started doing this on my blog for a while. I forget who this was. It was so helpful. Once a week, this guy posted about 4 to 5 times a week. I'd say about 5 times a week. And one of them, and I think it was Friday that he did this. He went and basically what his blog post was a list of links to articles, news stories, just interesting stuff he found on the web. And then he compiled it. And so I think it was his Friday post is what he did, because it was all the stuff during the week. And he would find he had, like I used to look at some really good stuff, Fast Company, Design Taxi, just really interesting websites. Not your typical, I'm not talking about like CNN, I'm talking about, really, or different science sites, just cool stuff. And so then he would kind of have hey, this is scientists just discovered a volcano on a black hole on Mars, or whatever it is, right? And then you'd have the link to it. And so it was really great. You could just go and you could use it kind of as a reading list. Another person I wanted to meet this guy, Joshua Becker. If you've never heard of him, he's the guy that is sort of the leading proponent right now of minimalism, living simply and not being commercialistic, and the will to desire to possess all of Walmart, in one buying spree. He's got a really great site, he on minimalism, and he does the same thing. I think it comes out Sunday or Saturday. On the weekend, he doesn't write on his blog. He has a reading list, and he's got 5, maybe 6 articles, whatever, from other sites related to minimalism, people he knows. What's his name? Leo Babauta, who, what is this? Zen something, Leo Babauta. I cannot remember the name of his site, but they're good friends. But he'll have these links to these other people, and it's kind of like your Sunday morning reading. Rather than just reading Becker's blog post, he's got a list, 5 or 6. You can check them out. It's pretty cool. I think that's very helpful. So I'll probably do that maybe once a week, where you could just come on to the Patreon site, and it would then lead you to really interesting stuff. There's that. I started doing a thing on my blog, which was Rucksack Revolution back then, which I did, I think, once a week. I don't remember what day it was, but it was kind of a meditation thing. And I got this idea from a guy who had a blog up in Portland. I can't remember his name now. It was the Young Disciples of Christ minister, preacher, if I remember correctly. And he had once a week, I think he maybe did twice a week, he had a meditation blog post, which was, he just had a really cool photograph. It'd be some really cool photo, like a forest or, from some interesting angle or perspective. And he would just basically put the photo up on his blog, and maybe a very short writing, literally maybe a sentence or even a word. Like, I remember one time he had this black and white photo. It was a forest. I guess he took the picture. It was outside somewhere, maybe up around Mount Hood or somewhere out in the woods. And it was a really cool photo. It's like black and white. And it was sort of looking up at the trees, but the light coming down through them. It was just a really cool photo. And he had just one word. I think it was solitude. I think it was the word solitude. And that was it. And it was kind of a meditative sort of thing. And I'm thinking about me doing that once a week. A lot of ideas. But rather than putting myself into brackets and saying, here I am, I'm a product, I'm a commodity, and I do exactly this. No. I'm just going to produce content for you. That's it. $3 a month. $3. It's real easy. Nothing to it. Anyways, enough of that. I've been talking about that way longer than I planned. It's been in my head for, a week. Better part of a week. First 2 days, I was like, oh, shit, what am I going to do? And then it started formulating in my head. And actually, Friday night when I was drumming, until my drum fell over, when I was drumming, I think about a lot of weird stuff when I'm drumming. I'm thinking about drumming. I'm totally focused on what I'm doing. But at the same time, my mind is quite often a million miles away. It's hard to explain. People ask me what I'm thinking when I'm drumming, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, on one hand, I am totally in the moment, like Zen. I am one with the drum. But at the same time, I'm not really thinking about it while I'm doing it. And so I remember this is one bar I used to play at a couple nights a week. This is about 10 years ago in town. And then this kind of big screen down the bar from where I'd be sitting playing. And I'd be playing a set with my buddy. And we'd be playing some complex shit. And I'd be watching the baseball game on the big screen that was like down, 50 feet down, wherever, down the bar. And I would be sitting there just drumming. We'd be playing whatever. And I'd just be watching the baseball game. My conscious mind was watching the baseball game pretty much. But my deeper level mind, whatever, subconscious, I don't know, was completely connected to the music. I wasn't distracted at all. So sometimes I do some pretty good, it's like when I walk, or, in the shower, I think good. When I'm walking, I think good. When I'm drumming, I think good. It kind of clarifies my mind or something. And so, I kind of started thinking this through. And then this weekend, I wasn't really with it this weekend, but kind of, I don't know, man, I had a lot of life thinking just where I'm at in my life, what's going on, that kind of thing. I don't know. Some of it was bad. I don't want to say bad and good or appropriate, but when some was like, kind of a inventory of myself. So there were some good things. There were not so. Kind of gave myself a performance review. How about that? Is that a way to look at it? So there were some kind of good things and some not so good things, and But anyways, other than that, I just like to say Donald Trump is a prick. And if you voted for him twice, you are one too. I don't care whether you like that or not. Like that woman in the store, how you can wear a face mask, a face covering. It says Donald Trump 2020, the president who basically, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen on Inauguration Day. First off, the asshole's not going to show up for it. Okay? I'm sorry. That's being a prick. Secondly, he's not letting the transition team do their job, which is a threat to national security, national wellness, all kinds of stuff, right? We democratically elected a president, right? He's not it. So the way I see it, I'm going to say it right now. If he is occupying the White House, because how on Inauguration Day, and long and short is the incoming president and first lady come to the White House that day, that morning, and I guess they get together and exchange a gift or two, maybe, or have a cup of coffee. They chill out. And then they ride together from the White House down to the Capitol. They have the inauguration. And then after it's all over, they do the swearing in, they do the speech, whatever. Then the outgoing president and first lady leave in a helicopter. It would be a Marine One, but it's not because they're not president anymore. So that's not their designation. But they leave from the lawn of the Capitol to wherever they're going. And then the president and first lady, the incoming one, they're there and they have lunch at the Capitol with all the big shot, people in the Senate, whatever. And then the way they come from the Capitol back to the White House is the inauguration parade. So my guess is, and I thought he would come around, but I don't think he's gonna. My guess is that on Inauguration Day, Trump is not going to go to the inauguration. And when the time comes, he's not going to leave the White House. Do you understand what I'm saying? Joe Biden will be the lawfully and dutifully elected, confirmed, and sworn in President of the United States. That means that the current occupant, lame duck president of the White House, who will still be in there, is an interloper, a trespasser, and a treasonous person. Because to me, unlawfully occupying the White House when there's a president that's been elected by the people, I don't honestly, I guess there's some bigger subversions of democracy you could do, but boy, if anyone ever spit a goober in the face, goober, I haven't said that forever. Yeah, man, you want to spit in the face of Lady Liberty? That's a good way to do it. Lose the presidential election and keep hold of the White House. So here's what I'm saying. If Donald Trump, if his happy little ass isn't out of that building after the swearing in, we need to have a military unit go to the White House, extract him, whatever that means, okay, from the grounds, and then Donald Trump, Melania Trump, the Trump children who have been involved, his inner circle, the people that give him the ability to do this, his entire cabinet, his chief of staff, Kayleigh McEnany, that little blonde dumbass, who sold her country out. Every one of them should be arrested and put in prison to await trial for high treason against the United States of America. Treason is punishable by death. Now, I'm not a proponent of capital punishment, but I would give him an option. You can pack a bag, take $10,000 with you, whatever. because we're going to freeze your assets. But you can pack a bag and take your ass out of this country. And by the way, you are never coming back. The Greeks called it ostracization. Like you're leaving. You no longer, you can have nothing to do with the United States of America ever again. Or life imprisonment. Now, I think treason can be punished by capital punishment. I'm not recommending that. I'm just not into capital punishment. But I believe that if Donald Trump occupies the White House, now right now he's a lame duck, but he is president, right? He lawfully can live there. He's the president. But what's the inauguration day, like January 20th or whatever, 23rd? I don't know. But Joe Biden gets sworn in as president, lawfully elected by the citizens of the United States, and Donald Trump continues to occupy the White House, then he's a treasonous person. Not just because he's occupying the White House. He's just being a bum there. That's just like the dude couch surfing your sofa and you got to get rid of him. But because he is subverting the democratic process. And after that inauguration, he ain't president no more. He's just Joe Citizen. So the way I see it, all those rules that he thinks presidents can't be arrested or whatever is bullshit. So I say arrest him and his entire inner circle. Now, does that mean that Secretary of State Pompeo, let's just say, does that mean that, I don't know, the Secretary of, whoever, some more minor cabinet position is as responsible about this as, say, the Secretary of State Pompeo, who seems to be full into the game? Of course not. So maybe that, but you know what? When it came to the 25th Amendment, they had a say. So, right. It's just like when a crime's done. You might have 10 people involved and one person is super duper involved and one was just the driver, right? So, hey, somebody gets 20 years to life. The other guy gets, 8 to 10, right? So I'm just saying, though, this is serious shit to me. If 10 seconds after, when Joe Biden said, like, so help me God, I think it's the last, line in the pledge, in the, swearing in. At that moment, he becomes the president. If Donald Trump doesn't have his bags packed and have his happy little ass out of that building by then he needs to be extracted in an interventive manner. Okay? Whatever that means. That means you can come with us. You're being arrested. You can come with us peacefully, or we can make you come out. And you don't want that, however old he is, Big Mac eating, overweight son of a bitch, take you out and break a couple ribs in the process, right? It's like in a bar, you can be bounced easy or you can be bounced hard. And whether it's easy or hard is up to you and your attitude and compliance. But I believe that Donald Trump and all his inner circle, that's his cabinet, chief of staff, that's those kind of people. And because, hey, guess what? He's in the nepotism, right? So let's see. Ivanka Trump is part of his inner circle. Jared Kushner is part of his inner circle. Don Jr., I don't know what the hell he does, but, he's off whatever he's doing. But definitely Ivanka and Jared Kushner should be arrested. Melania, I don't know. But I'm just saying that he should be arrested, and his cabinet and his inner White House circle, and charged with treason. That's heavy-duty shit. And like I say, and then have the trial. And I don't mean like in 2 weeks, but don't waste 10 years doing it. But hey, if it comes up guilty of treason, put his ass in jail for 10 years. Let him die in prison. I got no problem with it. Ivanka, let her go to prison for a few years. Like I say, someone might get 2 years or someone might get 50 years. Who knows? I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. But I know that if you unlawfully occupy the White House when you're not the president of the United States, and you completely and utterly deny the credibility of a democratic election, if you could tell me how that's not treason, I'd really like to know. But I see that as extremely treasonous. There's they're selling the nuclear codes to Russia. I mean, that kind of thing. But honestly, I mean, you're president, you lose the election, you refuse to leave the White House. I believe that's called a coup, right? I believe that's called being an I believe that's called trying to be Mussolini. Okay, I believe that's called a dictatorship. I believe it's called fascism, and I believe that is treason against the United States of America. And I don't want to sound dopey because like a lot of people think I'm not even a good American because I'm kind of socialist and all this stuff. Look, I'll tell you two things about me that you should know. Okay, I may have long hair. I may be for, the legalization of marijuana. I may be a lot of things, right? I may be a Democrat, right? That's because I want to see Bernie get elected. But two things about me you should know. One, I'm an Eagle Scout. Go ahead, laugh. But I'm an Eagle Scout. And I was raised, to me, the most important skills I learned in Boy Scouts had to do with, outdoor camping, backpacking, knot tying is really important, first aid. But they teach you a lot of citizenship stuff. And honestly, looking back, a lot of it, I go, kind of hokey. But, it's funny, man. I hear people talk about the flag, Blue Lives Matter flag. Excuse me, that's a violation of the flag code. I've been on a color guard in Boy Scouts, and I've been on a color guard in the U.S. Army. I know a little something about the flag code. But, yeah, I'm an Eagle Scout, right? Kind of all-American boy. And I'm also a veteran. And I come from a family of veterans and war veterans, okay? Going back, my family that I was adopted into emigrated here back in the late 1800s, 1870s, 80s, something like that. My dad told me some years before he died that we had vets in every single conflict from the Spanish-American War right through, So there's a side of me. Yeah, on one hand, I'm a long-haired, deadhead, hippie freak, vote for Bernie. Bhutan, gross national happiness, right? All that. But there's another side to me that's very soldier up. And when you fold that flag, your ass better not have any red and white stripes showing, or you're going to do it again. I take the United States of America very seriously. Serious enough that I believe a president who has not been reelected and occupies the White House should be put in jail for the rest of his life. Maximum security. Put him in that. What's that jail where they got like who's the guy? Terry Nichols, the Unabomber, right? McVeigh got killed for the Oklahoma City bombing, but the guy was with him. Terry Nichols, I think, was his accomplice. He's like in there for life. That's Supermax prison out there in Colorado, the federal prison. Put his ass in there with them, man, till he dies. He's an old man, right? He's not going to live forever. So he's not going to get. It'd be life, not 20. He ain't going to live 20 more years, but he'd probably get excellent health care there, and he wouldn't have to eat all the Big Macs. So he might actually live longer by going to prison. But yes, I believe that Donald Trump should be tried for treason along with his cabinet and his inner circle, including certain family members that are part of his inner circle in the White House, and the chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and all of them. Because you know what? If they didn't support him, he couldn't do it. So that makes them accomplices to treason. So let's just see what Donald Trump's going to do. He's got a couple of months yet, right? It's about the third week of January is when inauguration is. So maybe this all comes to nothing. Maybe someone knocks him upside the head, or he falls down the stairs and has an epiphany, or I don't know, reads a book and sees something. I don't know, but maybe he'll come to his senses. But he needs to hurry up and do it because A, he looks like an idiot. He makes the United States look like an idiot, and because the transition team can't do its job as well as it could. That's letting down the country, right? That's letting down the country. Can't be doing that shit. But anyways, $3 a month. I'll show you the little thing here. Is this it? Oh, that's not it. Is it not on here anymore? Huh. Wait a minute. Banners. Here it is. Yeah, support the show. Venmo. Oh, don't worry about Venmo, PayPal crap. I just want to show just forget all this. I'm going to redo all this anyways. Just remember, Rucksack Rev on Patreon, patreon.com, Rucksack Rev.